Welcome to Y Solutions Fall Protection Training. My name is Billy Campbell. I am the Director of Safety. Here is your training. Why is fall protection important? Falls are among the most common causes of serious work-related deaths and injuries. Fall protection, or lack of, was the most cited violation by federal OSHA in fiscal year of 2017. Why is fall protection required? OSHA requires fall protection be provided at elevations of 4 feet for general industries and 6 feet in construction industries. It is also required when working over dangerous equipment and machinery, regardless of fall distance. What can be done to reduce falls? Guard every floor hole where a worker could accidentally step in. Use railing, toe boards, floor covers, etc. Provide guardrails and toe boards around every elevated, open-sided platform, floor, or runway. Regardless of height, if a worker could fall into dangerous machine equipment, such as large vessels with harsh chemicals or onto a conveyor belt, employers must provide guardrails with toe boards to prevent such a fall. In some cases, other means of fall protection may be required, such as harness, safety line, safety nets, handrails, etc. Examples of fall protection: body harness, straps that will distribute the fall arrest forces over at least the thighs, pelvis, waist, chest, and shoulders, with means for attaching it to other components of a personal fall arrest system. A body harness is part of a personal fall arrest system. Know the ABC of personal fall arrest. A is for anchor, B is for body wear, harness, and C is for connecting device. Guardrail system: a barrier erected to prevent employees from falling to lower levels. Guardrail systems and their use shall comply with the following provisions. Top edge height of top rails or equivalent guardrail system members shall be 42 inches plus or minus 3 above the walking working level. The mid rail is typically at 21 inches above the walking working surface. A 4-inch toe board may also be required to keep tools from falling. Floor cover: OSHA defines a hole as a gap or void 2 or more inches in its least dimension in a floor, roof, or other walking working surface. Covers are required to protect employees from tripping in, stepping into, or through holes, including skylights. Safety nets. Safety nets are nets designed to hang below high-level work areas. Personal fall arrest system. According to OSHA, a personal fall arrest system means a system used to capture an employee in a fall from a walking working surface. It consists of body harness, anchorage, and connector. The connection may be with a lanyard, deceleration device, lifeline, or suitable combination of these. What does OSHA require of employers regarding fall protection? Provide working conditions that are free of known dangers. Keep floors and work areas in a clean and so far as possible dry condition. Select and provide required personal protective equipment at no cost to workers. Train workers about job hazards in a language that they understand. Types of personal fall arrest systems: those that are connected to a single anchorage point. Cable-based horizontal systems. Rigid horizontal systems. Personal fall arrest systems must achieve the following: limit maximum arresting for on an employee to 1,800 pounds when used with a body harness. Be rigged in a manner that limits the employee's free fall to no more than 6 feet, nor contact any lower level. Bring the employee to a complete stop and limit maximum deceleration distance and employee travels to 3.5 feet. Anchorage: a secure point of attachment for lifelines, lanyards, or deceleration devices. Anchorages used for attachment of personal fall arrest equipment shall be independent of any anchorage being used to support or suspend platforms and capable of supporting at least 5,000 pounds per employee attached. Cable-based horizontal versus rigid horizontal. While both achieve the same objective, there are several advantages to the rigid systems. Less fall clearance distance required. Wire rope systems requires additional fall clearance due to the initial sag of the wire. The dynamic sag or stretch of the rope during the fall also add to this distance. A rigid system stops the fall sooner by eliminating any sag. While both achieve the same objective, there are several advantages to the rigid system. Reduced risk of swing fall injuries. Long distances between supports. After a fall, the worker can continue using a rigid system after a visual inspection. A wire rope system can be replaced and recertified by a qualified engineer. Other components of a personal fall arrest system. Connectors shall be made of drop forged, pressed, or formed steel, or shall be made of materials with equivalent strength. Connectors shall have a corrosion-resistant finish, and all surfaces and edges shall be smooth to prevent damage to interfacing parts of the system. A lanyard is a flexible rope, wire rope, or strap which generally has a connector at each end for connecting the body harness to a deceleration device, lifeline, or anchorage point. Never use body belts to arrest a fall. A deceleration device is a mechanism, such as tearing or deforming lanyards, that serve to dissipate energy during a fall to limit the energy and stress imposed on a worker during a fall. See types below. Self-retracting lanyards. A self-retracting lanyard lifeline contains a drum-wound line which can be slowly extracted or retracted. The lanyard extends as necessary to allow the worker to move about the work area, but retracts as necessary to maintain slight tension, preventing the line from becoming slack. Rip stitch lanyards. A rip stitch lanyard has extra webbing incorporated into the lanyard. The extra webbing is stitched into place and folded lengthwise along the lanyard. During a fall, the weaker stitching allows the folded webbing to pull away at a controlled speed, slowing the fall. Shock absorbing lanyards. The webbing in a shock absorbing lanyard is designed to stretch as it receives the worker's falling weight. The stretching action breaks the fall into a controlled manner. Life Solutions requires before shift that personal fall arrest systems are inspected at the start of shift. Hands-on training will demonstrate how to properly inspect your personal fall arrest system. The annual documented inspection will be conducted by the supervisor, competent person, or site safety. The documented inspections will be sent to the Director of Safety to be on file. Annual inspections will happen every first quarter of the year. Specific procedures, protocols, BDEC work. It shall be Wise Solutions policy that fall protection will be utilized by all personnel while engaged in securing the rear portion of wire deck, given that the front portion of the wire deck has already been secured. This may be accomplished utilizing the following methods. Option 1. A scissor lift equipped with standard guardrail shall be positioned parallel to and level with the deck to be secured, as close as possible but not more than 14 inches from the edge of the beam. The length of the lift guardrail system shall cover the majority of the bay opening and shall be as close as possible but not more than 19 inches from the uprights at each end. Personnel on the lift may disengage from their personal fall arrest system at this time and climb onto the decking. Upon completion of the task, personnel may then re-enter the lift, reconnect their personal fall arrest system, and move the lift to the next bay or level. This option is to be used only when there is netting protecting the rear side. Option 2. All personnel accessing the deck to work stand on the deck shall be protected by a personal fall arrest system at all times. 100% tie-up is required at all times. The personal fall arrest system required for each worker will consist of a full body harness, 2 tie-back safety restraint lines that are engineered to wrap around the anchor points and clip back into the webbing. The safety restraint line tie-back straps will be wrapped and secured to the uprights at each end of the bay. at the point where the vertical member of the upright meets either the horizontal or diagonal member. When moving from bay to bay and disconnecting, reconnecting, tie back safety restraint lines, the worker shall be connected to his personal fall arrest system and at least one anchorage at all times, 100% tie off. This will be demonstrated and you will have to perform during the hands-on training for your certification. Option 3. All personnel accessing the deck to work stand on the deck shall be protected by a personal fall arrest system at all times. 100% tie-up is required at all times. The personal fall arrest system required for each worker will consist of a full body harness and one safety restraint line, minimum 11 feet extension. The worker shall position the scissor lift so that an anchor point is positioned at an upright with a bay on each side. The worker shall tie off to this scissor lift anchor point and proceed to access the decks on each side of the upright. Once the task is completed for both bays, the worker shall exit the deck and enter the scissor lift. The lift can now be moved to the next set of bays. This will be demonstrated, and the employee will have to perform during their hands-on training. Your supervisor, competent person, or site safety will conduct hands-on training, which you will have to perform. If required to climb in the system, they will demonstrate how you will climb and where you will tie off from while in the system. Rescue plan. Hands-on training will go over and put employees in possible rescue plan situations. A rescue plan will be set up prior to the job site beginning. This will be the responsibility of your supervisor, competent person, site safety. First is a self-rescue, meaning the employee can get out of the potential fall hazard. Report the incident to their supervisor, competent person, or site safety. They will inspect the equipment to determine if serviceable or needs to be replaced and report their findings to the director of safety. If the employee is not able to self-rescue, the crew will assist to get the employee down off the system. If EMS personnel are to be called, management at the site will call. The training and intent is to have the employee down at the time the EMS arrive. In summary, fall protection must be provided at elevations of 4 feet for general industry and 6 feet for construction. Guard every floor hole a worker could accidentally step into. Provide guardrails around every elevated open-sided platform or floor. Train workers on how to recognize and minimize hazards in a language they can understand. Train employees at Y Solutions what authorized fall protection is required while on the job site. This concludes the classroom portion of this training. You will need to take a written exam, score of 80% or higher, and your supervisor must sign off that you have completed all items on the hands-on training.